Starting the program in just a few moments, but first, some notes about today's program. Feel free to invite your friends to join in this show, and if you'd like to offer your thoughts on any of today's topics, you can request to join the stage and participate in the discussion, or comment in the chat in the video stream. You can find all of today's headlines on our website, musicindustrycity.com. Just head to the latest Music News at Noon post to see all the articles we reference during today's broadcast. You can also register for free to get unlimited access to all the articles, news, and events in the city. And you may also watch us live on the video stream right from the website or on the Music Industry City YouTube channel. All right, is everybody ready? We begin our countdown right now.
Hello and welcome. It's great to have you with us on this Wednesday. I'm Peter Schwing, and here's what's happening. There's a new bill in Congress to empower indie artists to negotiate better rates. COVID has caused €775 million drop in royalties. Music Revolution and Adobe partner up. Amazon's Clubhouse competitor. Twitter's blockchain collectibles, plus our daily Spotify update. Those stories coming up, but first, let's take a look at this day in music history. All right, in this day in music history, this is where we honor those who have passed, those who were born, and some other interesting tidbits that might have occurred on this day. To honor those who have passed away, in 1980, former T-Rex member Steve choked to death on a cherry stone after some magic mushrooms he had eaten numbed all the sensations in his throat. He was age 31. And in 2002, American record producer Tom Dowd died of emphysema. He recorded albums by many artists, including Eric Clapton, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Rod Stewart, Aretha Franklin, Chicago Meatloaf, and many, many more. October 2013, Velvet Underground frontman Lou Reed died at the age of 71. And also just passing yesterday was Herbie Herbert, a protege of Bill Graham's, who put Journey together and managed the band among other acts for 2 decades. He died yesterday at the age of 73 in memory. Born on this day in 1949, Byron Allred, keyboards for the Steve Miller Band. 1958 brought us Simon Le Bon for the vocalist Duran Duran, which, here's useless information. Duran Duran was my first concert ever. 1967 brought us Scott Weiland vocals for Stone Temple Pilots and Velvet Revolver. And 1984, Kelly Osbourne. Happy birthday. All right, in this day in history, in 2006, Amy Winehouse released her second and final studio album, Back to Black. The album spawned 5 singles: Rehab, You Know I'm No Good, Back to Black, Tears Dry, and On Their Own. Tears Dry on Their Own and Love is a Losing Game, and won Best Pop Vocal Album at the 50th Annual Grammy Awards. 2007, former Moloko singer Roisin Murphy was recovering in a hospital after damaging her eye socket during a show in Russia. The singer hit her head on a chair during the show at Moscow's Ikra Club and was rushed to the hospital for surgery. All right, that does it for this day in history. To set the stage for the discussion, we provide informed perspectives and commentary on current headlines. If you'd like to offer your thoughts on one of today's topics, you can request to join the stage. I'd also like to say hi to everyone tuning in on our video live stream on YouTube or directly from the Music Industry City website. To stay up to date on this and other programming, you can sign up at musicindustrycity.com for more news, articles, and events. And with that, let's get to it. And this comes to us from Digital Music News. Reported Meek Mill says his record label isn't paying him and he's about to leak his contract. The rapper tweeted on October 25th, quote, I haven't got paid from music, and I don't know how much money labels make off me. I need lawyers ASAP. Meek Mill is noted, managed by Rock Nation, operates under the Maybach Music and Atlantic Records. Goes on to say, ask the record label, how much have you spent on me as an artist? Then you ask how much you have made off me as an artist. The rapper continues in another not deleted tweet. Mill then threatened to disclose the terms of his record deal, saying, I'm about to make my record deal public by Monday just to let the world see what these people are on. So I'm a war for everything that mine's all ruthless vibes. Despite the majority of tweets being negative, one musician agreed with Meek Mill. The rapper's post was accompanied by Cassius Cole's comment, but I just thought about that the other day. It's nothing wrong with obtaining audit attorneys so that you're aware of where every dollar went. Trust me, a lot gets lost in the sauce. Tyrese Sosa jumped in to make a few comments about the situation. Quote, most of us who were signed 20 years ago, we should all demand our masters be reverted back to us. He continued, yeah, I said it by December 2022, I would own 5 of my masters from releases over the years. Speak up on it or they will keep collecting off your body of work. Meanwhile, fans in the comments couldn't help but commenting by bringing up the viral dinner with Jay-Z for $50,000 or $50,000 debate. Someone who has had dinner with Jay-Z, one fan tweeted, linked the post to Meek Mill complaining about not getting paid for his music. Meek really chose dinner with Jay-Z. Now his ass starving. This lesson, a lesson to all, another writes. And, quote, just want to point out that Meek has had plenty of dinners with Jay-Z. Even Tidal, the music streaming company formerly owned by Jay-Z, tweeted, just take the $50,000. If either way, the complaint and reference to leaking his contract has been deleted. The reason for this, to bring this up is, legal, what if they put that, if he did put the contract public, what kind of legal ramifications is going to have? Are there NDAs? These are the type of things it's like that is always a challenge. And that's why lawyers, legal, know what you're signing. And again, 20 years ago, it's a great point. 20 years ago, we didn't have streaming. So there's all these different things. And then there's the reversion clauses and all this stuff and work for hire and the 35 years. There's so many different areas that, you just really need to make sure you know what you're getting paid. And also auditing. That is a thing. It's not a very common thing. And it also costs money because if you want to audit the label, that is on you. So, I just thought that was an interesting conversation because it seems like every year we get a few artists out there that are complaining about the label and the deal that they signed. And, sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad deal. So, all right, from Billboard, this is a new bill in Congress would empower indie artists to negotiate for better streaming rates. Representative Ted Deutsch introduced new legislation Monday that would allow independent music artists, labels, and creators to collectively negotiate for better royalty rates. The Protect Working Musicians Act, backed by the American Association of Independent Music, A2IM, and the Artists' Rights Alliance, would allow independent artists to collectively negotiate with streaming platforms, removing antitrust barriers. Currently, as freelancers, independent artists aren't allowed to collectively bargain and have no union to bargain for them. Deutsch said in a statement, quote, through the pandemic, streaming services became even more indispensable, allowing us to enjoy the music we love, even when live performances were shut down. But with the exponentially increasing market power of a few tech platforms, the voices of independent musicians are getting harder to hear. A2IM President and CEO Richard Burgess says the power imbalance must be addressed by Congress so that creators and independent labels can band together to fight for fair compensation against anti-competitive schemes that devalue music. Year after year, these platforms grow their profits and subscriber bases at astronomical rates while artists struggle, especially in the wake of the pandemic. We thank Representative Deutsch for standing up for the premise that artists and creators deserve to make a living wage, even if they aren't a megastar or signed to a major label. So this would be really interesting. This is something, it's so important to be able to have a voice. And you see what's been going on where the streaming platforms want to pay lower rates. We've talked about this in the news, and you can see it, especially on Music Business Worldwide. They cover a lot of this, and also Digital Music News, a lot of the outlets. But they're talking about how they want to pay out less and less, and Spotify still fighting the 2016 or 2018 ruling where they had to pay more out. So this is something that is good, and hopefully we'll get some traction and go through. From Complete Music Update, I'm going to go overseas for this. COVID caused 775 million euro drop in song royalty collections in 2020. Royalties collected by the songwriter collecting societies across the world were down 10.7% last year as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, which equates to a drop in revenues of 775 million euros. This is according to new stats from CISAC, the global grouping of collection societies. The pandemic and resulting lockdowns had a much bigger impact on the song side of the music rights business than it did on the recorded music industry, which saw its revenues grow 7.4%. It's partly because songwriters and music publishers earn royalties from live music, a revenue stream that's pretty much stopped entirely as lockdown measures shut down tours, venues, and festivals, plus other COVID hit music rights revenue streams, like the royalties that come from broadcasters, sync, and the public performances of recorded music. These are all much bigger deal on the song side of the business than they are for the record industry. Prior to the pandemic, royalties from live music and the public performance of recorded music, along with broadcasting, accounted for 2/3 of society collections worldwide, and all three were negatively impacted by the pandemic. Nevertheless, the 10.7% decline overall is obviously a substantial drop, and the negative impact is more severe in those markets, especially in Europe, where live and public performance income is generally a bigger deal. PRS in the UK announced that their collections were down 19.7% in 2020, and France fell 12.8%, Spain 22.2%, and Belgium by 27.8%, and Italy was the largest at 35.1%. So hopefully this is going to be rebounding. I mean, this is one of those not so covered because again, there's so many things in the back end on the publishing where they are collecting money that many just don't realize, like, oh, they're collecting all this public performance. So there's a lot of areas that hopefully this is all going to start bouncing back now that programming's back in place and there's shows and series. All right, let's talk about some production music. This is interesting to me because when musicians, especially on the music side, is they're looking at other sources of revenue, and production houses used to have like that bad stigma attached to their name. Going way back, production music was really just cheesy and bad and just, that corporate so now production music is really different. And you look at companies like Epidemic Sound, Artlist, Monster, even like labels, what they're doing, it's kind of using it as production music, Monster Cat. So this is Music Revolution. They announced a collaboration with Adobe to supply royalty-free music to Adobe stock audio. So Music Revolution is an online marketplace for royalty-free music, announced a collaboration with Adobe to provide all this royalty-free music. And this is, going on, they're saying that they have over 70,000 tracks online. It's growing, and it's one of the largest royalty-free music libraries anywhere. This is exciting. Quote, with this exciting new addition to Adobe stock, creatives will now have easy access to thousands of new music tracks in every genre from musicrevolution.com. The collaboration with Adobe will provide additional exposure and new licensing opportunities for Music Revolution and the worldwide community of professional musicians. And they go on to say, we're excited to help millions of Adobe users meet their creative needs with high-quality royalty-free music for their video productions, podcasts, and other creative projects. So this is an area, as a musician, as a producer, as a writer, I mean, this is an opportunity that you see and you hear, like Epidemic Sound, like millions of dollars in investment. So, this is another area that you can look into as a revenue stream. All right, let's talk a little bit of tech here. Clubhouse, if anybody's familiar with this app called Clubhouse. Just a little update on some new features. Clubhouse adds pinned links to provide more context in rooms. So they're looking to add more context in in-app discussions with new pinned links features, which will enable users to attach... which will enable users to attach any URL to the top of the room display. As you can see, like moderators, this is what you'll be able to see is moderators will now be able to add external URL links within the room presentation, and you'll be able to do this by tapping the three dots at the top of the right screen, then tapping pin a link. So let's see if that's there. I'm going to take a look. Can I pin a link? I cannot pin a link yet, but we'll get there soon. It'll be rolling out. Any moderator will be able to change or remove the link at any time during the chat, and this is going to open up more opportunity for engagement, as explained by Clubhouse. Quote, we suspect that people will use pinned links in all sorts of fun ways, like playing games, running polls, and sharing links to YouTube videos. Just as importantly, we're excited to see pinned links help room creators drive people to subscribe to their Substack, download their podcast, read their book, go see them at Laugh Factory, discover their new single, buy their product, and support their Patreon or GoFundMe page. So basically, Clubhouse is envisioning that'll be another opportunity for creators to drive direct benefit from the room. So if I had this pinned, I'd say go to musicindustrycity.com and you can click on it, you can go right there. So it does seem right now, at least, that Twitter, though, has taken the lead in the audio, social, and gaming, because with similar in Spaces with pinned tweets, and while direct links is a little slightly different, the case is essentially the same. The platform, is expanding the dedicated Spaces tab and launching a new creator funding program for audio broadcasters in the app, as it looks to make Spaces a big part of the Twitter experience. Clubhouse also has its own creator funding initiative, but the broader reach of Twitter overall may prove more of a lure in many regions, though Clubhouse is seeing good take-up in India, which will be a key market for the platform's ongoing growth. Whether Clubhouse, and this is according to the article here, is whether Clubhouse remains a viable app amidst rising competition remains to be seen, but it is making the right moves with the addition of handy features like clips, along with its funding initiatives and now external link tools for rooms. I'm a fan of this. It's because so many times you might say, hey, take a look at, we're referencing an article, or check this out. Or I can say, if you want to go to musicindustrycity.com and check out what we're covering in today's headlines, you can go there and click on that link. So I can actually give you that link, and you can also tune into the video broadcast. All right. So Amazon, let's talk more about another competitor for Clubhouse, and that would be, Amazon. They are building a Clubhouse competitor that turns hosts into DJs. So Amazon is the next company to enter the live audio game. According to a presentation seen by The Verge, the business is developing an app called Project Mic that allows anyone to create and broadcast a live radio show with music. The goal of the project is to democratize and reinvent radio. Initially, the app will target the U.S. How this will work is that listeners can access the show via the app, Audible, Amazon Music, Twitch, and Alexa-enabled devices. Listeners can interact with shows using Alexa devices by simply speaking, and the app will also be designed for the automobile, allowing Amazon to reimagine radio. The Verge saw a mock-up of the app interface. Verge saw a mock-up app interface displaying live broadcast trending topics like NBA and Hot 100 and featured creators. Users can also search by topic, person, or music. Anyone can use Amazon's music library to create a playlist to help launch the app. The company plans to hire celebrity talent as well as lesser tastemakers. And besides music, the app will have programming on pop culture, comedy, and sports. And Axios first reported Amazon's work to create some of the live audio features and noted that the company was working with record labels to coordinate live events. All right, so we had Clubhouse, we had Amazon, we talked a little about Twitter. Now let's talk a little bit more about Twitter, because Twitter is working on blockchain-linked collectibles tabs. I mean, it's every week, every platform is adding something new. It's so hard to keep up with all this, and that's why we do this. That's why we cover this, to hopefully, some of these might be interesting. Some people are just like, I don't want to deal with NFTs anymore. And other people are like, I want more NFTs. So this one is from The Verge. Twitter's working on a tab that shows off a user's NFT collection, and it's beginning to look a lot more complete. The platform first began working on the feature in September, and a tweet from Mata Affleck, the software engineer for Twitter, first showed off the early stages of experiments in late September. The tweet's video demonstrates how you can connect your crypto wallet from popular providers like Coinbase, MetaMask, and Crypto.com, and then choose one of your NFTs to use as your profile picture. Your full collection of NFTs will be stored in a tab on your profile labeled Collectibles. Once selected, your profile picture will have a small badge that verifies that it's a real NFT. In addition to the Collectibles tab, they revealed that Twitter is working on a view that lets you get an up-close look at an NFT. You'll also be able to tap through a page that shows detailed information about the NFT, including a description, its creator, any properties, as well as some information about the collection. One change to note about the Collectibles tab is that it looks like it'll take place of the Likes tab in the profile, though you'll have to scroll horizontally to reach it. So Twitter's really going in on NFTs and blockchains. These social platforms are really you're going to start seeing a slow, in 5 years, you're going to look at Twitter, and if you take a screenshot of Twitter now, or take a screenshot of what Twitter was 10 years ago, you're going to see this evolution is going to be absolutely massive. And it wouldn't be recognizable what the things you're going to be able to do. And with that, let's go to our favorite time of the segment.
Big green dot. It's the spot.
That's right. It is the Spotify spot. We have a double dose of Spotify. This one is a whole bunch of boring numbers, but we just want to get that out there for you. And then, we'll take it from there. So Spotify subscriptions reached 172 million in Q3, up by 7 million on the previous quarter. So they released their Q3 results today, revealing that its global premium subscriber base grew to 172 million in the quarter. That's 19% up year on year and up 4% over 7 million from the 165 million spot count at the end of the previous quarter. The platform's total monthly active users increased 19% to 381 million, up from 365 million, and Spotify predicted 377 to 382 million monthly active users and 100 to 174 million premium customers for Q3. So this increase translated to $2.52 billion in revenue in Q3, up 6% from $2.38 billion in Q2. And Daniel Ek goes on to say, we had a great quarter. The company's performing well. I'm glad that we're delivering our growth and long-term objectives. We need audio to win. While we've been working hard to become the world's largest audio platform, it's still early days. We need audio to win. Just remember that. I mean, when we start looking at what Spotify is building out and everything with podcasts, it seems like they're so focused on podcasts, and many are saying that, music streaming is a secondary function now on Spotify as opposed to just having podcasts. I mean, this is they're an entertainment. They're growing out to be an entertainment full stack streaming service. Once they dial up the volume on videos, it's going to be a whole different thing, because they're already doing that with podcasts, with selective podcasters. You're going to have to have a video podcast. So it's going to be changing. It's going to be a complete entertainment platform as opposed to just a music streaming platform. All right, and just another little quick update. Spotify just sold 2/3 of its stake in music distributor DistroKid. And according to the new filing, the stake was valued at 49 million euros at the start of 2021, but by September 30th, it's grown to 205 million euros. The relevant context here being DistroKid raising a new funding round in August, which is said at the time valued the company at $1.3 billion. Now, the news was that the Spotify completed the sale, 2/3 of its equity invest in DistroKid, realizing a gain of 132 million euros, which has been reflected as an unrealized increase in fair value since September. Proceeds from the sale were 144 million euros. So some rough calculations. If Spotify made 144 million euros from selling 2/3 of its DistroKid stake, that suggests the overall stake was around 216 million before that and around 250 million at the current conversion rate. So basically, it suggests that Spotify's passive minority stake was around 19% of the business. But now, Spotify still has a stake in DistroKid, according to the filing, worth around 72 million by its own calculations. It's useful insight into one of the less discussed investments that the streaming platform made in recent years. And that was one of the things that we saw right off the bat. DistroKid became a preferred Spotify distributor right off the bat. So it was a great move on their part of this acquisition. And DistroKid has been doing a lot of, they've been really on the cutting edge and moving quickly. So to really do a lot there. So anyway, that is it for the reads. If anybody had some thoughts or commentary on any of today's topics and would like to join the stage, feel free to raise your hand or give us a chat in the video stream. And again, if you missed this, you can check it later on the musicindustrycity.com website, and that's musicindustrycity.com. Sign up for free. We're going to be tomorrow is the last day for the news, because next week we are off because we will be at nft.nyc. We're helping produce some of the stages there, but definitely I'll be over in the Palladium. If anybody's going to be at nft.nyc, make sure to hit us up. Let us know. It'd be great to meet up. And there's going to be a lot more rolling out very soon with Music Industry City. And if for the people who are registered, for the people who have signed up, there's going to be some special private events that we're going to have, and a lot of great conversations and get-togethers. We're going to be doing some metaverse networking, and we also have our November networking event that's coming up November 16th. So if you're registered, you can sign up for that, and it's going to be a great time. So with that, I think that's going to be it for today. And so that does it for the music industry news at noon on this Wednesday from New York. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I'm Peter Schwing. Have a rocking day.